myself as a parent, and I have two young kids, and I want to encourage them to be creative, to be curious. If they're interested in working as in coding, like I want to encourage them in that, or if it's more the data visualization side. But I want to give them a positive experience. And I'm just curious, in your lesson planning and in your teaching, are there things you can give as far as like best practices to parents or other teachers that want to create a positive learning experience for kids?
The number one thing I'd say is kids love options, just like people love options. But we have to present those. It can be really challenging, and I know this from not only being a teacher, but also having Girls Plus Data now. A lot of parents don't know that data exists, and they think of data as a tech field, something that's really technical or really specialized. And I think that's paralyzing to people, right, that aren't really technical themselves. And so I think, providing options, being able to, I want to say like relate these really technical concepts to everyday life, but that, upon reflection feels unfair because if you're not technical, you wouldn't know how to do that. But I think there are ways to learn those things, and it could be just listening to podcasts or watching TED Talks. There's some really great podcasts about how technology impacts our day-to-day lives, and there's one I can think of off the top of my head. It's called Note to Self. It's on NPR. So I would say just having exposure to those things. Kids are like sponges and they'll pick it up. Providing options. And I guess the other thing is that we just hear from a lot of kids that they feel like coding is jammed down their throat a lot. And so that's probably something, that catches they say, they're interested in what we're doing because they're not interested in coding. So maybe not pushing STEM, and coding is being one and the same.
That's really good because I think you're totally right. Like if you're not into coding, that's not interesting to you, or it's just seems too complex and that's just not your thing, that can make you feel like, well, I guess STEM's not for me. I'm just going to stay away from all those classes because you had a poor experience with Python.
Right. If and it's hard to teach. We're not trying to turn kids into data scientists. What we're trying to do is say, hey, did you know this is a thing? Hey, this is an option. What we don't want to, people to do is get to their 10th grade, get to college and they realize I had no idea that this was even an option, and it's too late. They're already on their path to become, a different career. They feel like they can't go back. One of the reasons why we target middle school is because by high school, kids are pretty set at what they're going to be doing for the next 4 years. And so if we can provide this as an option and something to think about before they get to those 4 years of, whatever their interests are, then I think that's important.
Thank you so much for checking out this clip from the DataTalk podcast. To watch the full episode, you can either go to the Experian blog. The URL is experian.com/DataTalk, or you can click on the link, which is found in the description of this video.